So before others join, I want a couple of you to quickly introduce yourself by telling your name, which part of the globe you are attending this session. If you are from IT background, how many years of experience, and if you are non-IT, you can openly say you're from non-IT background. So can anyone start introducing themselves so that we can get to know each other? Yeah. Yeah, please go ahead, guys.
Am I audible?
Yeah, Aman, go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Myself Aman, and I am from Jammu. I have done my BTech in computer science. I was passed out in 2019. Currently, I am working professional. I have 3 years of experience in manual testing, so I am going forward into automation testing.
Great, great to know. How about others? Yeah, guys, come on.
Hello, myself Gaurav. I have 2 years of experience in automation.
Great, great, Gaurav. Others, please. Nandini.
Hello, Rahul. Am I audible?
Yeah, Rahul. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello. So, currently, I have 1 years of experience, and recently I graduated in 2024, and I'm working in a as a technical as a IT support in a company.
Great, great. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. Others, please. Last two people. Then we get into the.
Yes, hello Rahul, Snehal here.
Hi, Snehal.
Yes, I'm from Mumbai. I have done diploma in IT. I was working in non-IT actually, so I just want to switch here.
Okay. Great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Last one, please.
I guess me. So hi, I'm Aritri. I'm currently in the UK. I'm working as a performance tester for the last 5 years, and so I'm trying to move into the SDAT role. So wanted to know more about the automation and got to know about your learning and the training. Yeah, so that's
Thank
my
you.
background.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi, this is Satyendra, and I worked as a game tester and as a business analyst in my past. And currently, I'm just searching a job on automation or a Selenium. So that's the reason I joined this batch. Thank you.
Thanks, Satindra. Okay. So, others, you can quickly introduce yourself in the chat box by stating your name, from which part of the globe you are attending the session. If you are from IT background, how many years of experience? And if you are from non-IT background, just mention non-IT in the chat box. So, we are not going to discuss what is automation, why automation, and all this blah blah blah. We don't want to discuss what is automation, what does it mean by automation testing and all. The question that I want to ask all of you directly who are attending the session here is, why automation testing is important? Got it? Why automation testing is important according to you? So you can unmute and you can speak. All right and wrong answers are accepted here, so no judgments here for you. So
To
what?
reduce manual effort.
Yeah, Gaurav, tell me.
To reduce manual effort, repeatedly the test case we are testing by manually, we can automate it to reduce our time.
Great, great, Gaurav. Yeah, go ahead. Anjana, you can go ahead. Okay.
It can be useful for regression testing, which saves a lot of time.
Okay, great. Great. What else, guys? What else, guys? Come on, guys, go ahead. Guys, no need to be silent. You can discuss. You can unmute and speak. Harsha, 5 years of experience. Reduce human error, increase speed of execution. That's great. So if you see this image, if you infer from this image, what we understand from this image, what we understand from a life of a manual tester versus a tester who includes automation testing in their project. So when you say a manual tester, initially it sounds like we have to prepare the user stories, create the trap points, create the test cases, validate the test cases, execute them, let them know whether it is pass, fail, skip, or something like that. Those are the things that we can do. Got it? But what happens when we approach the regression time, or when we approach the go live date, or when we are about to deliver the product to the client? You have to test the product once again. You have to do end-to-end regression. You have to submit the evidence. You have to prepare the evidences. You have to submit all different kinds of reports to the stakeholders. So your focus will be more on submitting this appropriate reports to the stakeholders rather than testing the application at the last minute. Whereas when you start including automation testing in your project, it will be very easy for you because you have to relax till the regression testing is running. And during the process of this regression testing, we can also have a cup of coffee and enjoy the mood. And also we can also test the scenarios which are not covered by automation. We can also cover a lot of border scenarios. What do you mean by border scenarios? Like any test case is failing if I'm increasing the value by 9 or 11 or something like that. We can also be creative as testers by finding more defects, more issues, more bugs or something like that. Clear?
Yes.
So when you start including automation testing in your project, you yourself as tester can be creative, and all the redundant activities can be done with the help of automation testing. Clear? Is this clear? Any doubts so far? Clear? Can we go to the next one?
Yes.
Now, what are the advantages of automation testing? They're reliable. That means they perform the same set of operations again and again, each and every time they run. No matter if you run for 10,000 times or 20,000 times, they perform the same set of operations again and again, thereby eliminating human error. What do you mean by repeatable? Enabling the capability to test how the software reacts under repeated execution of the same operations. That means what? If I'm trying to make some 10,000 payments or 20,000 payments for a particular account, we will also understand how the software reacts under this kind of huge set of repeated. And comprehensiveness. We provide the ability to build a suite of tests that covers every feature in your application. Meaning what? We can build a set of test cases and automation suite library that covers each and every corner of your application. Then reusability, enabling reusability of tests on different versions of our application. That means what? Tomorrow you have to test the code on the latest build. Due to some issues, the development team is reverting back the changes to a previous version. So we have to run the regression suite on these two different releases and check whether there is any major impact, any financial impact or something like that. So that is where automation testing will come into picture, because once you develop a robust framework and once it is handy, your job will be to test the code and say how the code is working properly or not. Clear? So programmability provides the ability to program sophisticated tests that bring out hidden information from the application. Meaning what? Whenever we are doing some okay. So what is happening here? That provide the ability to program sophisticated tests that bring out hidden information. Means in one of my previous projects, what was happening means there is an animation in the login screen. Ideally, it should take 5 seconds, but it has taken 10 seconds. But for naked eye, we will not understand that it has taken 5 seconds or 10 seconds. But during the automation scripting, what did I do? I just told that like wait for 5 seconds at max to be loaded. But it is taking always 10 seconds to be loaded. Then I informed the same issue to the development team stating that, hey, I feel somehow this animation is taking a lot of time to load than usual. When they found out the issue, it's not the issue with the code, it's the issue from the network management side stating that, hey, in our network protocol, there's some issue with the application. So we will restructure the network processes for this application. So once they align all the network related protocols, the application started working properly, faster than usual. So these kind of hidden information, we can get it from the application by using automation testing. And automation tools run significantly faster than the manual process. That means what? The execution will be finished in a flash. Clear? Is this clear?
Yes, clear.
Yes.
Yes.
And these are the two key points that we need to have a look at it. What are these two key points? Cost reduction, better quality software. These are the two key points that is eye-catching for any project manager. What do you mean by that? Ability to run more test cases in less amount of time with reduced team size. That means what? If you are supposed to run 1,000 test cases, but instead of 16 testers, if you are running it with the 6 testers, that means you're running more test cases in less time with reduced team size. So with that, what? Less number of less team members, more cost save. So as a project manager, they always look to have efficient people who can do multiple tasks and also save the budget of the project. Clear? Always project manager will look for a candidate who are multi-skill set, because they are the ones who can save time, save a lot of effort, and reduce the cost on the project. That is why automation testing is gaining popular. I understand the technology, I understand the nuances, I understand a lot of things, but for any technology comes with a price. What is the price I'm gonna save? That is why automation testing is gaining popular. Who are these project managers or the service delivery managers or the directors? They are the ones who decide the budgeting of the project. They are the ones who decide how much budget should be allocated for the QA team. They are the ones who decide how much money should be given to each and every employee who are part of the project. That is how important is a project manager or a service director. These two key things are something that is attracting for every project manager, every company. That is why automation testing is gaining a lot of popularity. And also wider test coverage. That means what? We can cover a lot of complex automated test cases along with their execution repeatedly over a period of time. That means what? We can cover a lot of complex automated test cases. We can also cover their executions repeatedly. And effective test management. Suppose if you get another application which has the same functionality, same behavior and all, but slight changes in the business rules, which is obvious. So you need not develop the automation framework from the scratch. You can reuse the same test cases, and whichever test cases are failing, you can report the same to your team stating that, hey, this test cases are failing. I'm not so sure why they are failing. Can you look at it? Clear? Is this clear, guys? Can we go ahead? Is this clear, guys? Can we go ahead?
Yes, yes.
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 And resource optimization. When I say resource optimization, suppose if you're working in a project where the development activities are happening continuously, and what will happen every night, the developers will deploy a build to the QA environment. And it is very difficult for a manual tester to sit every day in the midnight to test the smoke. So that is where automation testing is so effective that it builds, if we build automation, a robust automation framework for testing the smoke suit of the application. So after the deployment of the application is completed, immediately the automation suite will be triggered in a CI/CD fashion, and the test suite will run automatically. Clear? And also, if you see this graph, you will also understand how many man hours we are saving if you want to do a regression cycle of 1,000 test cases. We require 160 man hours, meaning what? It's not only about testing the test cases, it's all about drafting the reports, sharing the evidences for each and every test cases, sharing the screenshot, preparing the document. If there are any bugs, I have to log the bugs, identify the defects, and all these activities are there. All these activities can be done in 16 man hours if you are implementing automation testing in your project. When you say man hours, suppose 25 people are working in the project. So when I said 25 people are working in this current project, 25 into 8. What is 25 into 8? That means 200 man hours I'm spending on a single day to do a regression of 1,000 test cases, which is something huge, because you're losing one whole day of the complete team to do the regression testing. That is where automation testing will come into picture. That means if you write a full robust automation framework, it will take around 16 man hours. Meaning what? It will take the time of 2 employees to finish the execution, whereas remaining 23 people can focus on different QA activities, different testing activities, find more defects, find more scenarios, find more issues. Is this clear, guys? What do you mean by man hours, and how are we saving time in the regression testing, in the smoke testing, in a partial regression, in any sanity testing? Yes, Nehal, clear?
Yes, yes.
I hope everybody is clear so far.
Yes.
So before we jump into what is the course of automation, what are we covering, what are we going to learn, there are some 5 set of lessons or 5 set of rules that you need to understand about automation testing. First rule, never automate a mess. When I say never automate a mess, write the logic in such a way which help us automate the business flow. Don't write unnecessary logic. Don't provide excess of information. Whatever is required for the script, do write, do write the logic for that. Second thing, avoid complex logic in your scripts. Maintain your code in a structured manner. Maintain your code in a structured fashion. Don't add some unnecessary masala in your script. Always have your scripts organized in a proper fashion so that it is readable and understandable to everyone. 100% automation is possible. That is the question that every interviewer asks you. You should happily say that we cannot do 100% automation. At the max, if I have the expertise, or if I have an expertise like a god level automation engineer, we can do max to max 80% of automation. Clear? Is this clear, guys? Any doubts?
Yes.
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 Clear? Then beware of automation engineers who don't understand testing. So once you're into automation testing, okay, once you're into automation testing, you need to have some basic understanding about the testing terminology. What is smoke? What is regression? What is a sprint? What is sprint methodology? What is sprint lifecycle? What is product backlog? There's some terminologies you need to understand. Without understanding those terminologies, we are trying to jump into automation testing. That will be a very bad idea. And test automation is the software development process. Always remember, management is always there to state that, hey, you're an automation engineer. You can make the scripts right in a flash, right like a magic wand. Well, unfortunately, we are not having the skills like a Harry Potter or skills like some magician where within a snap we build a framework. No, we are also software developers, but we have to develop the framework by ourselves. We have to test the framework by ourselves. We have to do everything by ourselves. Parallelly, you have to test the application that the development team has written. But development team, we as testers are there to test their product. But for our automation framework, we have to test it. We have to understand it. We have to do R&D. We have to do a lot of work. That is why we are valued the most in the market. That is why in some companies we are labeled as SDET, Software Development Engineering and Testing. That is the new position that is trending in the market. I hope everyone understood why SDET is the trending word in the market. Can everyone give a quick thumbs up, a quick Y in the chat box if everyone is clear? Yeah. If you are unable to speak, drop the word yes in the chat box so that I'll be able to understand whether you guys are catching up or not. And also, if you see this graph as a project manager, as a project management front, you see initially it looks like, hey, I'm not spending much time on manual testing. Okay. I'm not spending much cost on manual testing. It's very easy. I'm saving a lot of time on manual testing. But as the application approaches go live, as we approach the go live date, what will happen? It will say like, hey, there's too much cost happening in the testing because we tend to add more resources from different projects to ensure that we deliver a quality application to the team. And we also tend to involve some seniors. Clear? And also automation testing, initially the company will say like, hey, I understand you guys are automation engineers. But don't you think we are spending too much time and too much cost on automation testing? Initially, it is, yes. But during the long run of the project, it will be the finances of the project will be maintained in such a way that whatever cost that we are taking initially virtually are the same. We are maintaining the same cost across the project. We are not increasing the budget and the time of the project if we have only manual testing. If you have a mix of automation testing in your project, then it will save a lot of time. Initially, it looks the investment and ROI on automation is very less. But gradually, once the product approaches go live date, then you'll realize the power of automation. Then you'll see like how it will work like a magic wand. You can execute regression tests in QA, in UAT, in dev environment, whichever environment you want, we can do it. The same regression test. And one more myth that is happening here that might have in your heads is, does automation testing replace any QA, manual QA jobs? Absolutely, absolutely. It is a myth. This myth is not real. As manual testers, we all important to the testing ecosystem. So we need to have a combination of manual and automation testing in the project so that the project works wonderful. Having only automation testing means the automation engineers will never know the functionality of the application, will never know what kind of scenarios to test. That is why we need to have a combination of manual and automation engineers in any project so that as a team, you can work on finding more defects, finding more scenarios so that the automation team will automate all the complex scenarios, thereby enhancing your testing process, thereby enhancing the reputation of yours as a team, thereby enhancing the reputation of the company. I hope I'm clear so far about what is automation, how it is impacting the business, and all those things. Any doubts, any queries? Is this clear, guys? Great. Great. Now we go to the next topic. What is the next topic? Are you guys excited to know what are the topics that you're covering in the course? Yes, I guess most of you are here for that. What are the topics that we are covering in the due course of time? Just give me a moment. Okay, so first in our Selenium with Java from zero to architect, the first concept that we need to understand is Java. What are the different topics that we are covering in Java? The variable declaration, the print statement, the string function, string builder, string buffer, the conditional statements, the looping statements, the constructors, constructor chaining, method chaining, the this keyword, what do you mean by mutable and immutable classes, method declaration, switch, enums, and we'll also be covering what is arrays, what is collections, what are the different types of arrays, what are the different classes in the list, set, map, sequence collection, and as part of JDK 21, DQ concept, which is also part of JDK 21, queues, and more other concepts. Inheritance and interfaces. What is this all about? Basics of inheritance and super keyword, method overriding, abstraction concept, purpose of interface, different types of interface, top-down approach, use of super keyword, simple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, multiple inheritance. We will also discuss what is method overloading, method overriding, what are the different concepts that come under the polymorphism. And we'll also be having an in-detail session about lambdas, streams, and Lombok expressions, which are needed in the current market. Different kinds of file operations like writing the data to the file, reading the data from the file, copying the files from one location to another location, different file functions. How do we write and read the object data to a file from the file? Buffer libraries concept. We'll be seeing all these things under the files. And when it comes to exception handling, we will see what is try catch block, finally block, what is checked versus unchecked exceptions, multiple catch blocks with one try block. How do we handle the errors at the runtime, docking and rethrowing an exception? What are the different, how do we create our own custom exception classes? And also we'll be having a detailed understanding of what are these generics, what is this wildcard, upper bound, lower bound, where we're discussing this because whatever external libraries are using, they use the concept of generics. So how do we use those generic concept right in our framework? So for that, we'll be having an exclusive session on understanding what is this generics and what is it all about. How important it is from a reusability standpoint of view. And we'll also be covering what is optionals, records, sealed inheritance, sealed interfaces. We'll also have for every Java topic, we have a weekly assignment. We will also provide you with topic-wise MCQ. We'll also provide you with 250 plus programming questions for practice. And for the people who are new to Java, who have some basic understanding of Java, worry not. Every topic will be going step by step, detail by detail, where we discuss each and every concept. And for each and every concept, we have a topic-wise MCQ. Daily, we will provide an MCQ based on the concept. And also we'll be providing a programming questions for you to practice. And also we'll be also giving you some weekly assignments based on the topics that we have covered in the week. And also guys, we also have a bonus for you. What is the bonus? That every alternate Saturday, we have a session separately related to DSA, data structure algorithms, exclusively for testers, where we discuss about different sorting techniques, searching techniques, the popularly asked interview questions with respect to programming, the complex questions, the tricky questions we'll be discussing there every alternate Saturday so that you can also have a better understanding of the programming language. Great. Any doubts, guys, in the Java concepts? Don't worry about any terminologies. We will be explaining each and every terminology one by one. I hope this is clear, everyone.
I have a question. Is it necessary to learn Java 8 plus features like lambda
We are
expression?
discussing Java 21 features, Java 24 features also.
Is it necessary to learn?
Well, it is very much necessary in the current market, Aman. The expectation of a Java from an automation engineer is massive now. So based on the current market only, this course is designed. We are not designing the course because whatever I know I'm teaching. No, the course is designed as per the current market standards. Again, after the 6 months, the market standards will change and our course also will improve. This is a evolving course based on the market needs and market standards. Great. So we will understand what are the topics we cover in Selenium. So before that, we will understand what is Maven, what is the advantages of Maven, how do we add dependencies to the Maven project, what is the concept of properties file, Maven profiling, how do we trigger the test cases through Maven. We will see all these things. Then we'll also understand the Selenium architecture, which is present in Selenium 3 versus Selenium 4. Okay. Then we will also see how do we launch the browsers via different apps. Like how do we launch the browsers via Chrome, via Firefox, via Edge, via Safari. So we will also see how do we launch the Chrome browser in 4 different ways. How do we launch the Firefox browser in 4 different ways. How do we launch the Edge browser in 4 different ways. How do we launch the Safari browser in 4 different ways. Then we'll also be discussing the window switching and handling. So how do we create a new tab? How do we create a new window? How do we launch multiple tabs in Windows? How do we switch between Windows and tab? How do we launch tabs via the JavaScript commands? Then we'll also be discussing different locators like ID, name, class name, link text, partial link text, tag name, XPath, CSS selectors. So whichever are highlighted in red color, that is XPath and CSS selectors. Those are super important when it comes to locators concept. And we'll also be discussing advanced locators like the concept of relative locators, where I said two above off, or straight above off, two below off, straight below, two right off, two left off. We'll be discussing all this different relative locators. Then we'll also be discussing different browser actions, click, send keys, select, get text, finding multiple web elements, DOM property, DOM attribute, is displayed, is hidden, clear, get CSS value, get tag name, get area role, how do we handle web tables and grids. We will also be seeing different wait commands, what is implicit wait, explicit wait, fluent wait, and the custom wait codes, how do we write it. Then we'll see the different actions class, click, double click, send keys, context click, move to element, click and hold, drag and drop, scroll to element, and different key operations. Then you'll also be seeing the different JavaScript actions like how do we highlight an element, how do we scroll the pages, how do we scroll to view, generate alerts, refresh the page, send keys, click, how do we do all these activities also we can see. Then we'll be discussing how do we capture different kinds of screenshots. So in the latest versions of Selenium, we don't use Monte Recorder. Selenium, one of the Selenium libraries giving us a feature to directly record it. Okay. Capturing browser screenshot, capturing element screenshot, capturing screenshot using A-shot library. Yeah. Just excuse me a moment. 1 minute, please.
Rahul, are you there? Hello?
Sorry guys, I just got a small call. So I've wrapped it. It was super important from the office. Okay. So we'll also be how do we switching to the frames by a name, by ID, by element and all. And we will also be seeing other topics like shadow frames, upload and download of files, Chrome options, desired capabilities, how do we kill existing browsers via CMD line, how do we handle sliders, how do we handle browser related pop-ups, what is browser authentication via URL, how do we handle it via has authentication library. Aarti, we have API testing. You just need to hold on for a while. Okay. We are going topic by topic. Yep. Any doubts so far in terms of Selenium concepts? Any doubts, guys, in terms of Selenium concepts? All good? So let's go to the next topic, that is so if you see here, now next topic that we are gonna discuss is what is test engine and what it is BDD Cucumber. So we will see the test engine concepts. So we'll see how do we write the test cases, annotations, how do we create dependency within test methods, parameterization, test engine attributes, soft and hard assertions, event firing decorators, parallel testing, grouping of test cases, and we'll also be seeing what is data provider, how do we use by hard-coded data, Excel, CSV, JSON, and we'll also be seeing the different kinds of listeners, how do we use it in our framework in a real time. Great. Then I also will be seeing other topics like what are the related to Cucumber, like how do we create a scenario outline, data tables, runner files, preparing the scenario name based on tags, parallel testing, Pico container, Cucumber annotations, background, step definition, data tables, all these things will be covered. And we'll also be seeing how to use Cucumber with JUnit, as well as how to use Cucumber with test engine, and how to use extend reports with runner file, and all these activities. Then we will also be seeing what are the different types of API calls, put, post, get, delete. And we will also be covering JSON basics, XML basics, what is query parameter, form parameter, path parameter, Hamcrest basics, and basic and digest auth. And also we'll be covering OAuth. So with respect to API testing, I will show you the updated content, guys. It was very difficult to put it in slides, so I'll show you the updated content of API testing. So in Excel, we'll be seeing how do we add the POI libraries, writing the data to the file, updating the data to the file, reading the data from the file. How do we see all different kinds of Excel operations, whichever you name it, we'll be discussing all this thing in our classes. And also we'll be seeing how to use properties file, how do we add Apache Commons library, how do we read the values from the properties file, maintaining different files for different environments, how do we create a master slave mechanism, how do we use this properties file on a real-time basis. We will also see how do we generate the extend reports. We will also see how do we generate the earlier reports. And also we'll be seeing what are the different kinds of frameworks that we are gonna cover here. Okay, we'll be covering data-driven. Linear and modular is something we will be discussing at the initial moment, followed by the data-driven framework, BDD approach framework, and a hybrid phase. Clear? We'll be also going through different designs of frameworks and how do we implement them how do we know which is right as per your project. Clear? Is this clear, everyone, with respect to this test ng and BDD Cucumber? If you don't understand any terminologies or anything of such, don't worry at all. We will be covering everything step by step with the helping you to understand what are the different terminologies. Clear?
Yeah, so in data-driven framework, only Excel is covered, or
You can see CSV also in API testing. In UI testing, you can see Excel. If you are interested, we can also cover JSON also, but that takes an additional class.
okay. So CSV and Excel.
Sorry?
CSV and Excel.
CSV and Excel we will be covering. If you're interested in JSON, we can also cover JSON. Even if you want to use Notepad file as your data driven also, we can use it. Okay.
Can we use PDF in data-driven?
PDF is very difficult to read the data from a PDF file. You can use database, but database is also another risky thing. PDF is not a suggestible thing for any data-driven testing.
Understood.
Proposed ones are Excel, CSV, JSON are the proposed ones and the standard ones. So we'll be seeing what is Git, what is the purpose of Git, what is the difference between Git and GitHub. We will see what are the different tools that support Git apart from GitHub. We'll be discussing all the different Git commands. What do we use in the real time? What is the purpose of it? We will also be seeing what are the different Git commands via IntelliJ. Via the IntelliJ, the code editor, how do we share the projects? How do we add files, commit changes, push changes, pull changes, changing the branch? Then you'll be seeing how we install different database tools. Because for a Mac user, you need to use SQL Server. For Windows, you can use SSMS. Even SQL works for both Windows and Mac, but SSMS is something that these days organizations are using. You might not know it sometimes as a tester, but some organizations, they still use SSMS because this SSMS is one of the most popular tools in the market that supported during the production time. And also it provides data integrity and data security. Clear? So most of you might have heard MySQL or something like that, but in some of the companies we use SSMS because in the real time in the production servers, we use SSMS as the original database in the production environment. And we'll also be seeing different CRUD operations, how do we create, update, delete and read. And we'll also be seeing the different SQL commands based on this DDL, DML, DCL and DQL. Clear? Is this clear everyone? All good? And we'll also be seeing the different concepts like how do we use Jenkins pipeline, how do we use it to work with the CI/CD platform, building pipelines. And we'll also have a basic understanding of what is CI, what is CD. CI stands for continuous integration, CD stands for continuous deployment. What do you mean by this continuous integration and continuous deployment? Okay. So continuous integration is something like developers frequently integrate their code into the shared repository, and we run some set of test cases on the integrated code to check the code quality and catch issues early. Okay. Great. And also it promotes a collaborative and quality focused development environment. What is CD? Automates the release process. That means what? It ensures that the code changes are deployed to the production automatically if all the test cases are passed. So that is what you mean by CI and CD. So what are the tools required for any CI/CD? We can use Jenkins, we can use JDK, we can use Apache Maven. We are covering Docker this time in detail, along with Jenkins combination. And AWS and Kubernetes is something I have to check it out based on the feasibility and the time. We will also try to cover AWS and Kubernetes, but we are covering Jenkins and Docker in the as part of the course. Clear? How do we build the pipelines? How do we trigger them? We'll also see all the setup of Jenkins tool, download and setup of plugins related to the build, trigger the pipelines, configure the build via Git repo. You will be seeing all these activities here. And we'll also be seeing some JDBC concept, different tools for JDBC integration. Yeah. What is JDBC? JDBC stands for Java Database Connectivity, which is an API in Java that allows you to connect and interact with the databases. It provides methods for querying and updating data in a database using SQL commands. Clear? Is this clear, guys? Any doubts? Great. So just give me a moment. I will also open the slides for API testing. Okay. So API testing, what is this API testing all about? It is all about, APIs is all about powering the connected world. So what are we gonna discuss in API testing? What is API testing? What is the client server architecture? Why do we need API testing? Offline versus online APIs, the different types of APIs, API testing techniques, types of web services, okay? HTTP methods and its purpose, different status codes. We'll be seeing what is Postman tool, how do we install Postman tool, integrate in walk through the Postman tool, what is workspace, what is collection, what is monitors, how do we perform API requests for different HTTP methods, how do we import the collections from Swagger, what are the different Postman variables, local variable, global variable, environment variable, data variables, and collection variables. Clear? Yeah. And also we'll be seeing the curl commands, and we have exclusive 1 or 2 sessions about understanding the Java concept, because we have to script the test cases and using the pre and post script tab, parsing JSON and XML data, chai.js assertions, yeah, running the collections manually and using Postman CLI. How do we install Newman library, JSON schema validator, request chaining, query parameter, form parameter, path parameter? How do we integrate Postman collection with Jenkins and Docker? We will also see what is rest assured, BDD versus non-BDD approach, performing different HTTP methods. How do we pass the request payload using JSON payload, external file, Pojo class. We will also be seeing what is serialization, what is deserialization using Pojo, Hemcrest validations, request and response logging and filters, spec builders, query parameters, form parameters, path parameters, JSON schema validators, Jackson libraries, JVM expressions. How do we integrate with Allure and extend reports? What are the different types of authentication? Basic, digest, bearer token, OAuth2. These are the different types of authentication we are covering. And also we have a couple of sessions on karate, like what is karate. We will have just a basic understanding of how a karate framework is. How do we look at it? So these are the different topics that we are covering in API testing. So for some people who might ask the course duration, it will be 3 months, 2 to 3 months, because we have to cover Selenium API testing and Java also. So we have to say 45 to 50 days. That turns out to be 50 classes is for sure. That turns out to be 3 months, and we might stretch more than 50 classes also, but it will not be less than 50 classes, because we have to cover each and everything in detail. And also at the same time, we are also gonna cover a lot of concepts which are required for the current market during the time of interview or during the time of working. And the classes will be on Monday to Friday at the same time, 8 to 9 p.m. IST. So anyone has any doubts? Clear?
Okay, you said on alternate weekend we will have the discussion, right?
DSA sessions.
Okay, right.
DSA stands for data structures and algorithms.
What will be the timing for that session, Rahul?
The team will update you on those sessions. That is part of the course only.
Okay.
For DSA session back timings and updates, you can contact with the team. They'll tell you, and it is part of the course only. Any more doubts, guys? Any questions? Any queries? Will we cover interview question? Uh, uh, Xiaomi, I don't know what is your name, but this course is especially designed for any cadre of experience. Even this course has been taken prior by a 10-year-old plus guy, 15-year-old plus guy, and they have successful in cracking the interview also. Okay. Interview questions means Vikas will be sharing you the MCQs, will be sharing you the programming questions, and it is your responsibility to answer them. And after the classes are completed, we can also have a mock interview based on your learning and based on your understanding to evaluate yourself how you can do in an interview. 1 second, guys. Yeah. Any more questions, guys? As I've told you, Vikas, if you have listened to the whole code discussion just now, I will be covering Jenkins. And the pipeline declarative syntax is, Ari, the sessions will be recorded. Yeah, sessions will be recorded and it will be available. So we, once it, again, about AWS, it depends on the feasibility also because we need to check a lot of things and we will see if we can cover as part of the class also. That's a bonus topic again, but we can try to cover AWS also because we have to host it and we have to do it. Xiaomi, I don't know, you're attending the session from the mobile, but I recommend everyone to, yeah, the hosting, you can use the local host for, you can use your local host. As of now, when you're working with the DevOps team, they will do the actual hosting in any AWS server and they will they will host the Jenkins. We will not do it in real time. The DevOps team will do it in real time because these are some activities which DevOps team will take care of it. If you are the only soul and breadwinner of the project, then they'll give you the access for any Azure or AWS. Again, AWS is something we can try to cover. Azure is a very lengthy process to set up the host. We can try to cover AWS hosting you for Jenkins. Any more questions? You can unmute and you can ask the questions.
So from tomorrow we are starting, like
Yeah,
from
the
when we
regular
are.
session starts from tomorrow.
Okay.
Right from tools installation.
Okay.
What about doubt clearing sessions?
Doubt clearing session will be in the next day where you can discuss your doubts in the class or after the class also you can clear your doubts. Generally in middle of the class also if you have any questions, you can ask the questions. Once I say, do you have any questions like today, you can clear out your doubts. And also for your understanding, like
Regarding the topics, right, on the karate framework. So along with that, like, or either karate or is there any option? Can we go for the Selenium grid concept, like
Selenium
container?
grid is there. I forgot to mention Selenium grid is there. Selenium grid is covered as part of Docker. Very good one. I forgot to mention Selenium grid, but I'll update in my slides that we will be covering Selenium grid.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, that's fine.
Thanks for
Thank
the reminder, Hema. I was wondering what was missing, Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. We'll, if possible, we will sit one weekend and we can cover Selenite also, Hema. That's not a problem.
Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you.
And for people who are wondering how the class assignments will happen, well, this is a class tracker that we provide for every batch where we will mention which topic, which day we are discussing. And we'll also be providing you the links for MCQs. And here we have the coding questions. And for every week, we will be providing the weekly assignment questions. And it is your responsibility to solve all the questions. We have the link for MCQs and we have the link for solving the assignments. It is your responsibility to solve all these assignments. With that, you will have the confidence of the coding in your interviews as well as in your job.
Also, Rahul, like we get the placement assistance.
Placement
Also?
assistance we are not providing, only we are discussing about the course and the technical thing. But anyways, if we get any placement, okay, yeah, If we get
Yeah.
any placement referral opportunities, we'll definitely share, because in the previous batches also, I get a lot of openings from different places, but if we get any opening, we'll share, or it's your responsibility to crack the interview, Hema.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thanks, Rahul.
That is why we put a mock interview at the end of the course to understand whether you're ready to evaluate yourself, whether you're ready for the interview or not.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
No one has no doubts. If no one has no doubts, then we can connect later. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So tomorrow onward, the actual session starts, and we will start with the tools installation directly from tomorrow. Okay.
Rahul, will it be IntelliJ or Eclipse?
I'll be using IntelliJ in the class.
Okay.
If I have already installed Eclipse, then
Well, for JDK 24 that we are using,
so I have to be download.
yeah, because some companies they are using JDK 8. I strictly recommend not to use any JDK 8, JDK 11, because JDK 11 support will be stopped from this year.
Which JDK will be
We
using?
are discussing JDK 24 and JDK 21. Either of this should be used in the class. And Intelli is the right tool because it supports all the preview features of Java and all. And IntelliJ is one of the prime sponsors of Java also, if you see from a business point. So if you guys don't have any doubts, then we can drop it for the day and we can connect tomorrow.
Hello, hi Rahul.
Yes, Ramu.
Yeah, actually, most of the people here from non-IT background, right? You are providing any resume building session or any technical project
Well,
hands-on.
resume building session means we can always tell you what kind of roles and responsibilities you can put it in your project. How well you should your resume look, because after the course is completed, I can show you my resume, or I can showcase some other resume where what are the roles and responsibilities that you need to put, or you can also see based on the some JDs in the LinkedIn. You can also will try to help you understand how do you what kind of keywords that you need to have in your resume. So we can use the help of ChatGPT or some any GPT model to help you understand what kind of what kind of keyword should be there in your resume. So those things and all, I can help you out at the last, because it might be not be an important thing for you. It might not be an important thing for others, but it might be an important thing for you. So it depends on case to case for me, Ramu. Generally, I help them individually because uh, I help them in resume. I don't actually commit about resume building, but we help what kind of roles and responsibilities should be there in your resume. Okay, Ramu?
Okay, fine.
Great.
Yes, Rahul.
Great, guys. We'll see you all tomorrow at the same time. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Rahul.
Thank you.